Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight Out of Boston, and today I'm back for episode number 6 of the New Orleans Pelicans MyLeague series. So today we're back, and we're going to be simulating up through the trade deadline and moving on from a few different guys on our team, and we're getting pretty substantial trade offers as we move towards the months of January and February. And I've seen DeAndre Jordan shopped a few times by the Clippers as Solomon Hill goes down. But I've got a couple offers for DeAndre Jordan, and he would be the type of guy... Ooh, that's nice that Sullinger's back now. He would be the type of guy that I would go after just because he seems like a good value play at this point, but I don't really want to pair him and Davis. I'd rather build my team around small ball, and Davis is the 5. So now we're into January, and I think I'm just going to simulate up until January 15th. That will be a month after. So the deadline for, or I guess the window for when you can trade guys who you sign in the offseason begins on December 15th as Galloway goes down. We'll just leave rotation as is for that. But we are 13th in the conference right now, so our pick is looking pretty nice. And a lot of trade offers for Joe Jackson, but Josh Jackson, what am I saying? Josh Jackson, excuse me. But I'm not really looking to trade him at this point by any means. Unless it was a package for a superstar player, but... Alright, so we are playing pretty terrible. Just what you like to see Lonzo Ball in the starting lineup now. And that's pretty much, I mean... I think that signals that it's pretty much time to think about starting to move on from Teague. I wanted to bring in Teague so we could bring along Ball slowly at the beginning of the year. But I eventually knew that Teague was probably going to be a trade chip. And, you know, 1-year contract doesn't make too much money. I think he makes $12 million. He was trying to build his value back up, and what has he been doing? 10-5, not shooting very well. So we'll see if we can get anything for him. I mean, first round pick, something like that I would take. And we'll probably shop around Sullinger and maybe even Olynyk too. And Sullinger just got back from injury. I think he's got a team option for next year, so it makes more sense to hold on to him. We don't really have the capital to be able to say, like, oh, let's see what we can get for Teague and like our late lottery pick or something. I mean, we have the 2018, but then we don't have anything until 2020. I guess we could try Teague in this Rockets pick, but I don't really know what kind of offers we're gonna get. But I might as well fish it out there. But nothing too spectacular, but I mean, pretty much same players, so same kind of tier of guys. This one is kind of interesting, Teague and JaMychal Green for Serge Ibaka, but we've had the opportunity to get Ibaka in the past, and I've always passed on him just because he would be nice if I had the other pieces already. He would be a nice, like, 4th or 5th guy to bring in, I think, but I don't really want to build him as, like, the second guy. But the trades when we attach to Michael Green are a little bit better. I mean, we have Alec Burks being offered. This European guy who looks like he's half decent, 20 years old, already a 73. And this guy's potential is a B. He is a 7'2" guy, so... This is another one I kind of like, Portis. I would do Portis for Teague straight up. I don't know if they just don't want Portis back, but if they want JaMychal Green, I'd take Ersan. Alright, I think I'm going to do the deal with the Kings and try to get Papagiannis. Georgios Papagiannis. And we also get Kufos in the deal. I don't really want Kufos, but I'm terrible at pronouncing names, so I'm just going to probably call him Papa John. And Kufos for JaMychal Green and Jeff Teague. And I know it's not a lot for Teague, but I think this guy could be a solid rotation player, and if we can get a good backup center, not have to rely on Olynyk, it's not too bad. So we made that trade pretty early. We could have waited, which I guess now that I think about it, I probably should have done, but it's alright, it's not a big deal. I mean, I don't think we're going to get that much more, even if we waited. The deadlines, the values do kind of shift though, but most importantly, we're losing games right now, and that's ultimately what we want. I mean, we want that pick that we have to be as high as possible, whether we draft a player or we use it as a trade chip, no matter what, it benefits us to be as bad as possible. And as hard of a reality as that is for some people to take, it is just the way the system is. It's the way you have to game the system. And it's easy to do in a video game, it's obviously hard to do in real life. This is a pretty interesting offer, but I'm obviously going to decline it. But fun seeing those big trade proposals. Wiggins and Howard for Davis, but I would never trade Davis for anything that wasn't like James Harden or another superstar player coming back. Chalmers and Ashik, no thanks. We finally beat the Raptors. We won a game. Good for us. Why would I do that trade? Spurs, Raptors, and Bulls. These are 3 road games. And Sullinger goes down. So we can't trade him now. which means we're probably not going to make another move. I'll just shop Olynyk one more time, but probably not going to get anything that I really want, and we'll keep scouting, and then it'll be a short episode. I'm not going to play another game in the second half. We'll just go right into the off season. I want to get this series to the point where I'm playing games that are actually interesting. We're competing for playoff spots. We're trying to take the next step with the core that we have. So I want to get to those games, and we're not playing those games this year. We still just have 2 guys in our rookie year and Davis. And it'll be more interesting to play the games next year when we have one or two more guys, maybe even some free agents, plus the guys that we have now with another year under their belt. I think that'll be a lot more interesting. And we won't have our pick next year in 2019, so we're going to pretty much have to compete for the playoffs. So that's why I want to get to year 3. I think year 3 is going to be the money year for us. And it doesn't always go that way, but it just went that way for this series because of, we played the hand that we were dealt. So swapping Olynyk for Nurkic would be pretty nice, but I don't want to give up that Rockets pick. Brandon Knight wouldn't be bad, especially to replace Teague, and he could be a third guard. He makes a little bit of change, but that's not bad either. I kind of like that. So we've got 2 potential deals we could do. Although Brandon Knight has not been playing well this season. He was alright last year, but it is kind of a lot of money invested in a guy like that. But it's not an untradeable contract, and you would have to re-sign Nurkic at the end of the year anyway. So I feel like the best move is just getting Knight next year, but Knight is the type of player that I want to have, and he is semi-affordable. So he's probably market rate for a guy off the bench like that. And I don't think he's going to make us terribly better this year, but it does allow us to still not have to play a guy like Ball a zillion minutes a game. But we're pretty much just going to simulate the rest of the year, and I'll just do that on video because I know this has been a short episode so far, and I know I'm not planning on playing any more games, which I wasn't sure of last time around. This time I'm just going to be able to do it, and at least we'll be able to react to injuries and stuff. Contract, let's at least take a look at this. I don't think I'm going to extend anybody. I don't think we have anybody to extend. That's really of doing, yeah, okay. Could re-up Covington. Yeah, 1 year minimum. Let's do that. But it looks like we're not going to have a lot of cap room next year, which is a little bit disappointing, but we'll have that draft pick. And we'll see what we can do. We can always, it's not, the thing is, oh wait, we have to scout. The nice thing about the 2K this year is that it allows you to trade after the draft, which it hasn't always allowed you to do in the associations and the MyLeagues, and it's always been like a weird glitch or something. I think it was to prevent, you from like trading guys that you just drafted, even though you could just do it right when the regular season started, but whatever. So they finally fixed that this year, and it's really easy to move contracts in the offseason, so you can trade during free agency, which means if a guy you think you can go after in free agency is available, then you can move the necessary contracts to do it when it actually happens, whereas you would have to do it preemptively in previous games. But let's keep simulating. I hope we keep losing. We're 14th in the conference right now, but we're starting to win some games. And we get Sullinger back, who I do want to play. And we'll have Sullinger. I'm not going to be able to play a game with him, but if we use him as a trade chip, I feel like we'll cash in on that asset. That contract was always a team-friendly contract. It's kind of like the Amir Johnson contract that Danny Ainge signed with the, that Johnson, I should say, signed. Ainge signed him too with the Celtics, and it was the deal where it was like a 1 year and then a team option, and they had the flexibility to not pick up the option if they wanted to go after Durant, or they could bring him back. And his contract fits into a lot of potential trades that they can pull at the deadline, because that's a spot they could upgrade as that power forward / backup center. Josh Jackson has back spasms. I'm just gonna have CPU. I should have been hitting that the whole time, but I don't really care about the rotation until we actually start contending for games. Now Healed is down with an injury. So we start getting banged up here. We've got a handful of games left. I want to say a dozen games maybe. And I want to keep scouting these. We don't have any second round picks, so we might as well scout these late firsts / early seconds. Unless we trade down in the draft, is the only way we're going to pick in the second round. We're up to 13th in the conference, and we're really like winning a bunch of games now. Like, why are we doing this? Have we really won? Hold on. How many games in a row have we won? 4. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. Sacramento and LA now jumping ahead of us in the reverse standings, and we have all these Easters, so our pick's not even going to be that good. Well, That's disappointing. It could be decent if we lost a few more games. We could get all the way down to 7 or 8. But right now we're looking at like 12, 13, 14. Which means we're definitely going to have to use guys to trade up. And we're still winning games. So rest in peace to our good draft pick. We're up to 36 wins. I guess this is going to save our job. But I don't know if that really matters. We win 37 games. LeBron MVP, Dennis Smith Rookie of the Year. He was the #1 overall pick, if you guys remember. 22 points a game, replacing Kemba Walker. Dwight Howard, 6th man in Minnesota. Defensive Player of the Year goes to LeBron. That's pretty cool. John Smith, Coach of the Year. And let's see if Brown made anything. He didn't even make NBA 3rd team. That's disappointing. He did make All Defensive 2nd team. And he averaged 27 and 12. I mean, how does he not make 3rd team? I don't. Lonzo Ball, all-rookie 2nd team. No Josh Jackson on these teams, though. Ball finishes averaging 8 and 4. Jesus, I wonder what Jackson averaged. He must have been terrible. We'll take a look at the playoffs. I just want to look at the standings. Then we'll send the playoffs and get up to the offseason and then do that in the next episode. But I do want to see what the player stats for the year were. So Jackson averaged 5 points a game. He just didn't shoot the ball. He only took 5 shots. I thought I had him playing plenty of minutes, but yeah, he played a lot of minutes. I don't understand why he didn't shoot the ball more. Hopefully that'll, I mean, I don't know if that's just his tendencies, but, I mean, further reason to investigate, you know, a trade with some of these guys, so. Let's simulate the playoffs. Golden State's that 2 seed this year. Cleveland is the 1. Golden State's got OKC. They sweep them. Now it's Portland. I think that's a rematch of last year's conference final. It's Portland, Toronto, and Damian Lillard in Portland. They win it. So that's pretty cool. Over Toronto, too. So Cleveland got swept by Toronto in the 2nd round. And then Dennis Smith, the rookie point guard, leading Charlotte to the conference finals. So very interesting playoffs. But alright, we are into the offseason. And that is going to do it for this episode. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'm out.